Hello, my name is Cthulhu Monster, and welcome back to my ATM Gravitas 2 Let's Play series. I play on Pilpo's Patreon server, and yeah, it's been a little bit. I took the week off here just to play Manor Lords. It had its early access a week or so ago, and oh my gosh, I played too much of that. I beat it one way, and I'm gonna wait until it gets closer to its full form release. But yeah, so I'm back here on my ATM Gravitas world, getting ready for the grind here, and I'm excited to tell you about what I did. Cause yeah, I did a lot of this recording before I did the intro. I had an intro, and then that was before I was going to delay a week. So I did not listen to what I was planning on doing. The ADHD, it ran rampant. So yeah, we are. So this episode, we're going to be focusing in on getting the pyrolyze oven back up. We're going to be looking at getting benzene, and then exploring what we need for AE2 and rockets, because we need to get to Mars for the next run. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and yeah, let's see what I got up to. Obviously, it's shenanigans, but let's see what else we got up to. Hello, folks. Welcome back. I took a little bit of a break there to play Manor Lords, and I had originally worked on putting the pyrolyse oven up here, and I realized I don't really want to do that anymore. It's just a little too tight, and I was gonna have to remove some of this roof. So I'm still looking to find another machine to put in here, but I don't think it's gonna be the pyrolyse oven. Pyrolyze oven. There we go. A few changes have happened. So I'm in the latest version of the pack, which is great. But one of the changes that did occur was the Omni. They some folks who do the mod pack did see the omnidirectional one because of the wireless connection within integrated dynamics being so strong, like it's cross-dimensional. They made this a lot harder, and yeah, so I think I'm kind of in a point where I should probably, since it can't be done for everyone, I think I'm gonna take it off and go back to not having wireless connection. We'll put hopefully that doesn't cause any issue if I throw it in there. We'll take it there and remove it here. And I'm fine with the fact that I did think that wire cross-dimensional was a little bit too strong, but unfortunately there's no like in between for ID. So it looks like I'm gonna have to lose that. What I would say is um, there is going to be some point where integrated dynamics, like probably pretty soon, that I'm going to be setting up an AE2 system. And the reason for that is integrated dynamics can, if you're not doing it like safely, can cause some issues. And it, in my opinion, AE2 does have a little bit of an easier time with doing what is it called? Bulk processing. And I will be doing some bulk processing. I just really like my AE2 system to look a lot prettier. So yeah, so I have my pyrolyse oven here, and I did create this terminal. I'm probably going to just nuke the rest of my footage, to be honest, from before I got distracted by Manor Lords. But yeah, the terminal is pretty cool because it has a few options here. So if you hit Shift here, you can see right click will open up the manual, which is pretty rough right now. But when you sneak it and you have a control and you're carrying everything, it will do its best to build the machine. It's definitely not perfect. You could tell that it needs some work here, but at least it's like a step one. And one of those things is I need to get these HV uh, pieces off of it. So I'm gonna switch where my stuff is on here. So I would prefer my maintenance to be closer to the front, or maintenance hatch. Input hatch. ULV just has one option for the input, and that's fine for me. So let's see here. I'll have a walkabout space. I always like have my incoming and my out on the other direction. I think it's just because I'm a right-handed person. But I do love the fact that with these multi-blocks, you're able to kind of adjust. It's kind of like what I would consider fitting it to what you need. I do need to turn this off over here again because I absolutely need oxygen for other things. And yeah, just been working on getting sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, and then yeah. So it can use a little bit of a break. So input hatches, I'm going to put on this side. wonder if I should face them up. That could be kind of cool. Okay. So input hatch, I'll have that facing up. Output hatch, I want this to go at a very specific location. Output hatch. So the hatch is going to be the liquid. So I do know my liquid needs to go into my distillation tower, which will be right here. My output bus is just going to be charcoal, so that can really go anywhere. We'll just put it facing up again. My input bus, those are going to be my mineral trees and whatever other trees I grow. But yeah, I got enough mineral saplings that I can make that work. Oh, not quite what I wanted right there. All right, and then the other pieces I have here. So I need the muffler. The muffler I'm going to put in the back here. And I do need to get my energy here. So previously I had 2 high voltage energy hatches. I'm just going to check to see what the wood tar recipe requires. Because it just was speeding it up, and I didn't need to speed it up using the high voltage. I don't care if it's fast or not, if that makes sense. I just needed to be consistent. So what I'm going to do here is just grab, so we're going to do the one with nitrogen. So 1 bucket, 16, 10. Just it's speedier if I use nitrogen. And right now I have so much nitrogen that I don't mind. So we'll keep an eye on whether or not I switch that up. But it's using MV, which means I will have double, what is it called? The double, I'll have double hatches, so I just need the LV here. So, oh, already got used to having dimensionalists. So LV energy hatch. So I got 2 of them. That's what I'm going to use. All right. Okay. Let's see here. I got to put the muffler in. And now I just need, so I got my outputs. I think I just need these here. Yeah, and there it's processed. So this now can handle MV recipes. And the way I can confirm it's handling MV is you can see it talks about the tier right here. The max tier is an MV recipe, which is perfectly fine. All right, so I ran this just a little bit. So I do have a super tank right now that has just a scooch of wood tar. Good Lord, the scooch is 342 buckets. Is that correct? Yeah, well, all right. And what I had done with this was I had just previously just a little pump that would pump it out. But yeah, let's work on this. So I'm going to be using low voltage. So I just need some low voltage cables. All right. So what I've done here is I just added a little quick stair up, and I've connected the battery via some 8 times 10 cable there. And I have a basic combustion item here with a small gold pipe here, and I'm planning on importing what is it called? Diesel to this. The singing is required when I do that. I can't help it. That's who I am. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that auto discharges down with the screwdriver. Send the connection here. Then I'm just going to put logic cable down, and now I just need a fluid exporter. And I did hear that the filtered fluid exporters are problematic, and they cause a lot of like, so if I do a fluid exporter, these guys here, the filtering fluid interface, I've heard really problematic things with this, just like it causing crashing. So I would recommend to avoid those. Thank you, Gamer Dragon, I believe, who told me about that. That's in the previous episode. So just something to keep a note on or an eye on to make sure you're not using stuff that unfortunately just doesn't quite work. And I could directly have imported this into each of the machines that I'm going to have here for the combustion, but I just like to have some visual interface here. So just so you know, you can do it a little bit. You can definitely do this a multitude of different ways. This is on channel 12. All right, so this should be filling. Excellent. And yep, so this is going that way. I'm just going to shutter these because I like the look of it, to be honest. Just tells it which direction it's allowed to go. It's only allowed to go that way. Just maybe not this one, because if I do get a second one here. All right, and these buffers are really, really nothing too much here. Speaking of which, though, I probably should just go grab some buffers. And by buffers, I mean batteries here. I have a good... This is where I think previously we discussed where I just kind of reuse my batteries. Instead of breaking them down. So yeah, this one has a ton. We don't need 16 here. Do 4, and I'll plan to update that one later. And I will need to put a machine controller on these as stuff gets used. So I'm one short. Okay, let's see if this blows this up. I heard that it wouldn't blow it up, but I'm not sure. Okay. So this one will definitely not be the one that controls it. So I'm gonna actually put this on the end side so I can put a controlling piece on that side. And I just need to do its maintenance. So one of the things with maintenance is you have to hit right click in here with the tool, which was something that took me a little while. So I need the mallet and the crowbar. So there, now I have everything to do the maintenance. All right, so now this should be working nice and slow. All right, so yeah, there we go. This should be creating us, just staring down my my item there. Oh boy. Got a bit distracted there talking on what is it called? Discord. But yeah, excellent. So this guy's running. It is automatically discharging this time. Previously, I don't think it was doing that for me. But yeah, so it looks like let's just put a quick redstone control on here because I do know that these are just gonna drain the battery as is right now. So yeah, let's get that redstone control. Machine controller. All right, so I got my advanced energy detector here. I'm going to put it on this one here. And let's just change the settings. I like to run mine generally between 10 and 90. It does take longer for it to charge back up, but I don't mind too much. And by default, it will emit it when it's less than it and stop when it's over. So my default is normal is the one I want. And then the machine controller here, toss it on here and say, hey, I only want you to run this machine when there's no control. So all right, taking a moment here to register what I want here. So as is, maybe it is inverted I want. So inverting it will emit it when it is within this range. So right now I should have redstone. I could use another create guy here, but I don't want to, I'm gonna be honest. Oh, what happened? My stuff spinning up there? Doesn't look like it. Did I bust something down here? All right, so it looks like I'm getting overstressed here, which would have to do with this layer. Looks like the usage on my create just switched up a bit. Interesting. Well, I'm not too worried about it because I don't need speed on this particular piece. I do need to get a new ladder going up. You know, out of sight, out of mind. Definitely, it doesn't do me any favors on that one. I'm just gonna push this. Come on, come on, go, go, go. Probably shouldn't have pushed it. That's all right. There's power there. All right. Obviously, these should be working with it, but it's a little bit off now. But once I do get my ceiling fans in, I can probably ramp it back up. All right. Unfortunately, it looks like the redstone alloy wasn't quite doing what I wanted, so we are going to use the 2 links that I do have. A few links here just because for the sake of our time, and then I will look to see if I can figure that out a little bit later. All right, so yeah, so there's our wood tar being made. Excellent. And this is going to chew through our logs here. So let's just take a look here. We got 65,000 here, you know, just a scooch. And that stuff should still be operating. I haven't seen it go by yet, but it doesn't look stuck, so we'll take it. But yeah, let's prep for making this distillation tower here. All right. This would be just horrible from a smoke standpoint, right? We'll go more realistic. Oh, no. I can go more realistic a different day is what I was going to say there. So I definitely have a monster down here somewhere with me. But I'm just reinstalling my solar steam here outside in a new location, and I need to hook up the integrated dynamics to make that work. So, as always, just digging random wiring holes in your stuff, or at least on my stuff. I could use the omnidirectional thingy from last round, but I am not willing to get ender pearls, really. Those are a special occasion item. But yeah, I'm just, doing some thought processing here. We are I'm getting prepped for getting the, what is it called? The benzene going. And I've just been kind of trying to look into what's next to go to Mars. I'll admit, I'm kind of little, well, I will do an episode proper when I know what I need to do to get to Mars. I know some people on our server already are there, and I might just go check out to see what Volt's been up to, but in the meantime, I'm just kind of, I like to take my time, think about things, as you guys probably know. All right, so I've ordered up some stainless steel here. I'm actually going to switch this back to blocking because instead of dumping all of the pieces in there, it just does them one by one. I wanted to test to see what that end result was. I am seeing that I'm getting kind of a gold light on this andesite, which is kind of interesting to me. I'm wondering where it's from. You can tell I just sort of ran out and patched things a lot. Sometimes you have to do that. Okay, so let's see here. So I got I got the wood tar going. I'm working my stainless steel. All right, so I got my large stainless steel fluid pipes there. So I'm gonna make the distillation tower here, which is excellent. And now I need the clean stainless. So I have 20 of those. I'm curious. Okay, I ran out of uh, plates. So I have more that I can make here. So I'm just gonna grab some stainless steel plates, as well as put another, let's put another 100 going. All right, since I do have 100, whatchamacallit, about 96 stainless steel powder going up here, so that'll be good. And I did just, oh God, the sitting thing will get me one day. I'm so used to holding down a button to try to sprint, even though I literally have speed on my feet. There's no reason for me to sprint. I should be just fine with the speed I'm at, but my soul says you should try to sprint, just in case. Wouldn't it be cool if you sprinted? I'm gonna throw this iron dust in here so that we can make some more stainless steel as needed. All right, and now I need the outlet hatch. So ULV outlet hatch. So I'm gonna need, we talked about this with wood tar and I forgot. So we are looking at distilling wood tar here in the distillery tower. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, and it doesn't look like, interesting. I could have sworn there was a offset here, but yeah, so I'm gonna need 5. So the different types of like ULV casings or LV casings, those can be in different types of multi-block, which is why you see them screen through so often. And they're used primarily for whatchamacallit. It depends on how many you want at one output, so it's like a customization factor. And that's my understanding of it. Not perfect. I'm not understanding this. We're gonna need 6 of these. Let's look at the wood tar again. Do you guys do that at all? It's just like trying to remember it, and you're like, yeah, nope, nothing. So I need 3 here and then 1 on the input, so it's gonna be 6. Okay. I'm going to need my energy up at HV, I believe. So I already have an HV energy. I have a lot of them, to be honest, because I accidentally make my pyrolyse oven 1 HV when it actually just needs to be LV. So that was something to remember. But it works out. I could make this go faster, but I really don't want it to go faster. I don't have the upkeep for actually using the saplings if I go faster. I should fix that up there in time, but not now. I'll probably fix that when I fix the bridge, because this needs some love, this bridge. Okay. And let's see here. Those ULV Delios. It's missing one wrought iron plate. This is where I've noticed that, like, the reason, probably one of the main reasons I'm going to switch to AE2 is I see it just loses one of the outputs and then it gets kind of locked up. So you can see that, one had just gone through at one time too quickly and it didn't register that it already completed that. Okay, so now we need to make these input hatches. All right, so it's just gonna be glass. So we'll make 6 of these. All right, and then I need to turn 5 of these into output hatches, which I can do with a screwdriver, and we'll just put one remaining here, and voila. I made too many. Oh, apparently I had some of these hatches already, so that's always fun. So I got my energy, I got my distillation tower, I got my outputs, my inputs, and my clean. So yeah, let's just look at this from a hatch point. So it has power on the bottom as well as the input hatch on the bottom, and then just output hatches as it goes up. All right. See, when I first started playing RigTech, I really didn't understand the flexibility of some of these ones, and one way to tell if it's formed is just if it turns a solid color at the end. And I need 5. I'm gonna have to rotate all of these, but for the moment, I'm just gonna leave them as is, tilted up. So let's see here. I should be able to count this. So I need 1, 2. Oh God, I don't want to count it. Yeah, I know you live down there, Zombo. We'll find you in time, or you'll hopefully disappear. Live a good life with your family somewhere else. And this should be kind of peeved because I don't have any of these tilted in the right direction. So let's get those in the right direction. Let's see if it works. Oh, yeah, you need to not have a hole at the bottom. All right. All right, so I just take a look at the recipe, and it looks like it's 256 EU per tick at the level, which I don't necessarily feel like I need to put a battery in on this one, because it does generate one combustion generator here does over double of this. And I know soon we're gonna have to get to the point where I'm using superconductors where which don't have any loss. If you guys, I believe, gosh, I'll have to get the name and I'll put it on the screen here. Someone reminded me of the superconductors. These are the zero loss cables. They are just harder to make. So I definitely want these on auto soon. But for the moment, I don't have them. All right, I need some super tanks. I had those processing here, so let's get those super tanks in place. Each of these I do want to connect to our network in time, so we're gonna put them here. All of these need to be locked. All right. Then there's our creosote, phenol, benzene, toluene, and dimethylbenzene. So, excellent. And I do want fluid interfaces on these guys so that the system recognizes them. All right. So now that we got benzene, there's a few things we're going to want to do. And I was trying to figure out a good way to track this because I have the memory of a goldfish. Oh, cool. I do love that. Case in point. I need to do a few things here. One, we need to get a terminal here. So let me see if I can get that clipboard. Okay, so I do have a little clipboard here. So we need a turbine. All of this can be cleared. We're way beyond the lead. Okay, so we need a turbine to use the benzene that we just made. And then I was looking at the thingamabobs. I was looking at the quests here and trying to identify my next steps because I'm not quite sure how to get into space. I know it started. It's going to be, I have an idea of some places. And to be honest, EV, a lot of this was about the resistors and items, which I think that one feels like there's less, what's the word for this? It feels like there's less infrastructure to put in place, but I do want to make sure I'm getting this vacuum freezer here. So I do have, I don't know if I've told you guys this or showed you guys this. With the vacuum freezer, I tried to make it before and I just didn't register that the main component was EV freezer here. So I'm gonna need 3 HV pumps and two more EV tier things. So let me get those processing. So can I just order 10? Do I have enough stuff for that? It looks like it's gonna be missing the RAM card. So the RAM chip means I need the RAM wafer. The RAM wafer is a laser engraver. Of course it's a laser engraver. Okay, so if we're using the wondrous phosphorus dope one, it does get 4. If we just use silicon wafer, it's 1-to-1 in the green. So let's just look at our silicon wafers. So I have 57 of them. I've had a really long day one day. So, editor monster here. The reason I was laughing is the bowls take so long going through the electric blast furnace at the lowest tier, which this definitely was at that time. So it was using the 450 seconds. To get 57 silicon bowls, it's 7 hours. So I just had an EVF going for 7 in-game hours. So yeah, that happened. So, yeah, I was looking at my footage and I, at this point, just kind of got a little bit crazy. The ADH kicked in. I started to get a lot more swift, I would say interim type of setups, not really doing like machine setups I plan to keep, just kind of really trying to rush that next phase of, well, one, getting the vacuum freezer, but then I really wanted to get into the rocket scanner. And I'm not sure what format you guys like to see these things in, but I do want to cut that up into probably just a quick few snippets of madness here. So I do, so that'll be a new trial here for some of these things is when I do notice that the ADHD train has run off the rails and is going rampant, I want to kind of condense it down a bit more so that one, you guys don't hear all the rambling. But yeah, just let me know. Does it actually help for you guys to walk through one by one with me on some of these things? My goal was kind of talk you through the setup and show you the setup of some of these multi-blocks because when I'm when I was learning, when I'm still learning Greg Tech, I'm seeing a lot of like the finished ones and not really like the errors people are making. And then a final one that works. But I'm not sure if that's what everyone wants to see or if that's what really makes a good episode. So definitely this is still a learning process for me. So your feedback is greatly appreciated. All right, so I'm just going to give you a quick tour here. So this is where I ended up putting the vacuum freezer, and the vacuum freezer is a pretty simple install here. I did finally find a dealio here, and I hate it here, but I just needed something in place. It's using a simple combustion generator, and I'm just directly importing the, what is it called? The diesel to this. And I've been working on getting titanium. And this is kind of where I went off the rails yesterday because I wanted to look into going to space. And one of the items you need for space is going to be the rocket scanner here. So the rocket scanner would be my first EV machine haul and my first EV machines, and that requires titanium. So I wanted to get titanium, and I realized previously or earlier I might have mentioned it in my series, but that's the reason why I was looking so hard for bauxite, is because bauxite, from a processing standpoint, has a material called rutile dust, which if you see is TiO2, and rutile dust is what you can put into a chemical reactor with chlorine gas, and that gives you titanium tetrachloride. And titanium tetrachloride is one of the items you can put into an EBF with magnesium, and you're able to get that hot titanium dust. So, yeah, I kind of skipped like 12 steps, I feel like. In the when I recorded last, I was just like, oh yeah, we're just jumping really fast ahead. So I will set up something a little bit or more automatic for my bauxite, because that looked pretty common on things, but I wasn't seeing. I'm not sure if there is a naturally spawning titanium option, and so I'll take a look to see if that is an option. But yeah, when I'm getting rutile dust, I had been processing some, so I had already like I think 800 something, and I just quickly stole my setup over here with my HV auto crafting machines, and I set up a chemical reactor here that is processing rutile dust and carbon, and I just have been manually feeding it chlorine here. And chlorine gas, I've just been getting through electrolyzing right now salt, but not the salt that I can use for other ones. It's the rock salts that I've been using. So, rock salt, if you electrolyze it, so let's just go in new here, electrolyze it gives you 1 bucket of chlorine and leaves back the potassium. So, that's just the method I currently am using because I have a lot. So, yeah, just really quick processing titanium here. Didn't expect that to happen, and it just kind of escalated. So I do plan on setting up a little ore processing for this dust. It's 1 bucket of the titanium tetrachloride for an ingot, which is great. And then when you're making this in a chemical reactor, when you're making titanium tetrachloride, it is per 1 rutile dust, which I might be pronouncing wrong. So this box should have 596 titanium in it, which is more than I was expecting. So yeah, I think that's going to be our next. That's going to be in our next episode. In the meantime, I did create the rocket scanner. I was able to get enough for the rocket scanner, which also included these launch pads and the yellow dye, which I despise. So we have started to get set up for the whatchamacallit, for getting to the next to the moon. And then we'll need to get to Mars. So I set it right here for the moment, and I have looked at what Volt put in place, and yeah, I will have a lot to learn. All right. So, yeah, sorry about just kind of streamlining through all of that. I just don't have cohesive footage yet on how to make titanium. So, our next episode is going to be all about getting a nice automation for titanium, and then all the pieces for getting into EV, like the hull back there and those items. And I think at this time we also are going to start looking into getting AE2, because I think it's time. We have a lot of energy sources we can use, and yeah, it'll be great. So yeah, my name is Cthulhu Monster, and thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I play the ATM Gravitas 2 mod pack with no adjustments, and I'm here on Pilpo's Patreon server. So yeah, hopefully if you see me around in the ATM Discord or Pilpo's Discord, feel free to say hi, and I do appreciate any suggestions. Um, this one was a lot of footage just due to the delay in episodes, so I'm hoping to get back to the 2 episodes a week in time. But in the meantime, let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know your thoughts on how you want me to show Greg Tech machines. And I guess if there's nothing, I'll keep going the way I'm doing. So yeah, thank you much. Bye.